So, creative director, North.
Yeah.
Um, so with that, how I guess would be do you find that helps you find connections with your music as well?
Yeah. So after I came back from LA, I was in this like really, really creative like block.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up like doing a bunch of research and stuff and found that like burnout can take years to recover from.
Yeah.
And when I was in LA, like it was not good. Like I was living completely by myself for like 2, 3 months. Um, I was dead broke because I was the only one paying the bills for
Mm-hmm.
like the last stretch. And so I was eating crackers and ice for like weeks.
Oh
And then
God.
all I would do was like go to work and just like make music and then ended up burning myself out like really, really bad because it's like I couldn't do anything else. I didn't have many friends out there.
Yeah.
Which is so ironic because now like all of my friends that make music are in LA. Um,
You were there
and
before it was cool, I guess.
yeah, I have a habit of doing that. What can I say? um, but yeah, it's not good. I didn't have anything else to do, so I just like fully threw myself at music and like writing, and it just like was not good. And so I come back completely burnt out, and like I wrote a few songs. Like when I was back, I got an opportunity to write songs for um like a major artist. Ended up not working out, but I still wrote the songs.
Yeah. Who was it
Yeah.
for? I'll cut it out.
You don't have to. I didn't have to sign an NDA or anything. I don't
Uh,
think they'll be mad. Ian Dior.
oh, nice. Yeah.
So yeah,
I definitely see where that would be a good fit.
yeah.
Or I mean, not I don't know what's going on with you guys now, but like the styles.
Oh yeah. Um, no, it was a really sick opportunity.
Yeah.
And the person who set it up, loved them. So he's a great
Yeah.
guy. So,
There you go.
uh, but yeah, ended up I was still writing songs, and then it just like I just kept coming back to like, man, like it's not what I want to make. It like I sit here like in dead silence, like trying to write. Like I'll play a loop or a beat, and I'll just like then I'll pause it so I can write.
Hmm.
I have a really weird process of writing music. It's not super weird, but it's just annoying to do it like with a group of people.
Yeah. You're like, hold on, guys.
Yeah, it's like everyone's like writing to the loop and stuff. I'm like, I need to pause this. Like I need to start on the one and like go from there. It's really frustrating
No,
for other
I
people.
I understand that though, because it's like you're processing it separately, but like and then putting it back together. I
Yeah.
I yeah, I get it.
If the timing's off, it messes me up. So I have to like reset, right, and then test it out and then
Hmm.
pause, right, test it out. But yeah, completely burnt out. And I was like, yeah, I'll just take a break. Everyone takes breaks. I feel guilty for having to take a break this early on in like my music career, but I did anyway. I really didn't have a choice because I wasn't making anything either. So to finally wrap back to your original question, um, Origin allowed like being the creative director allowed me to still be creative, but not have to force it onto music. It was like a new
Yeah.
medium that I could like still like flex my creative muscles and,
But
and
in a
stuff.
different way. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Like the past few artists we've talked to have spoken up on burnout, and it is such a common thing. And it's like, how do you, like I feel like not enough people talk about it, right? Like
Yeah.
if you're like if you're an artist that's just starting out or you're building your following or whatever and you get burnt out or you feel like you're burning out, right?
Yeah.
You it's like that guilt. You're like, I don't deserve it. Like I don't deserve to
Yeah.
take a break, right? Like, but it's
Um,
so
uh,
needed and creative people are creative people. So if
yeah.
you can just like do something else differently creative, I feel like
Yeah.
it'll help and loop back eventually. Sorry,
Yeah.
what were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think that's like hilarious because I'd be like 19, 20, 21 years old being like, I'm running out of time. Like, cause like Kid Leroy just turned 19 like
Right.
yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I just turned 22 and it's like, like I already feel like I'm old in like in the terms of
Yep.
like music. But
Yep.
what's hilarious kind of about what's hilarious about like burning out is the advice sucks online.
Oh, I'm sure.
And
Go for a walk. Give
yeah,
up, whatever.
it's like anything that has to do with like, like songwriting, like creative processes or whatever. The advice sucks. And I actually wanted to write a book about it, just like ranting about like burnout and songwriting.
Yeah.
Because it's like you look up stuff and it's like exactly like you said, it's like how to get out of my creative block, and it's like WikiHow, and it's like go look at a tree. It's like, okay, this doesn't help.
Right. And I think, I've listened to some podcasts about burnout, but I think I think it's different depending on what it is that you're doing every day, right?
Yeah.
If you're working a desk job, or if you're actively making creative outputs, I feel like the ways in which you come out of burnout or remedy it is, one, different for every person just to begin with, but then also is different based on your circumstances. But the one thing I do feel like would hold to be true across like whoever you are
Mhm.
is physical activity. Because
Yeah.
that is just like nothing crazy. Like I'm not saying like go like lift 100 pounds or whatever.
Go beat an Olympian real quick.
Yeah, just like real quick. But I do feel, regardless of what it is that is causing the continued stress or causing the burnout, can more or less be helped by that. But
That's actually like really solid advice.
So
because everyone's always like, oh, just like go work out, like whether it be like anxiety, depression, like burnout.
Which, yes, like easier said than done, especially those with anxiety and depression. But yes. So North, what is next for you? What do you have coming up?
I have more than one and less than 3 songs coming out.
All right. Nice.
I really, really, really want to do a project. I've had multiple ideas for a project, but I don't have any music to put on there, like to compile a project that I'd actually be proud of. So honestly, it's kind of lame, but like I gotta get my life like correct so I can work on a project. Like I gotta, I live with my parents and I love my mom, but it's not the same as like living in my own place and creating.
There's a lot going on. I get it.
So, but yeah.
So we've got new music, project in the future. What is your, like, I see that you've kind of gone the route of like a bunch of singles. Just what is your personal opinion on someone that releases an EP or like an album really early in their career, even like before seeing like mainstream success or stuff like that? Do you think that's silly? Do you think that's like dependent on what it is?
No, I don't think it's silly at all. I actually kind of like hate that even has to be like a thought. Because we're so conditioned to being like what value are you bringing besides like what value besides the actual art are you bringing forward for it to be like successful? And I mean, this is like the path that like all of us musicians chose, so like we kind of got to live with it, but it's also like why can't I just drop a project? Like why is that looked down upon? Why when I think about dropping a project do I have to be met with like industry like business executives who have never created a single note in their entire lives dictating like sorry, I'm like getting like really into it. Dictating like how like how we should drop these things, like how we should bring forward our art, and God, like the marketing costs, you know what I mean? Like, is it a smart move? You don't have an audience. Like our generation isn't project focused. They don't want to sit down and listen to an album. And it's like where did we go wrong, man? Like
Yeah.
15 years ago, we had some of the greatest like rap albums come out. And then it's like, I still like, people still go back and listen to them. And it's like, so like what changed? Like what form of artistry like took over the other and like made it that way?
Yeah.
I don't think it's bad to drop a project early on. I, of course, as much as I like combat it, I understand why dropping a project early on is bad or isn't the smartest move, because it's not bad. No one, you just drop it and no one will give a shit, if
Right.
anything. But it's frustrating. It's frustrating.
Yeah. And
I don't.
to be honest, I don't think that I really truly noticed just how much that shift had happened until I started back up talking to artists
Yeah.
and like talking about it. And I was like, looking for people to interview, looking for people to talk to. And I'm like, huh, you know, some of these smaller artists, some of these underground, it's single, 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 single. And I'm like,
Yeah. And
huh,
it's crazy because the industry right now is kind of a catch-22. Like, it's not smart to drop a project early on, but it's the first EP or first album that blows everyone up.
mm-hmm,
You know what I
mm-hmm.
mean? Their first EP, their first album is what everyone takes notice of.
Yeah.
Like their freshman drop, like that's what everyone like focuses on. And so it's so weird how it's like this weird backward, like, well, don't do it because you need this and that. But then it's like, how am I supposed to create success without creating the art that would make me successful in like one singular?
Yeah, and getting feedback on it too,
Yeah.
nonetheless, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think, someone who is constantly releasing on SoundCloud or whatever, it sometimes like I studied social media, I did a lot of social media stuff. And
Mhm.
one thing that I noticed when I was managing those social media accounts was there was one account that I managed that had thousands of followers, right? Thousands of followers, a lot of history, right?
Yeah.
But no one would fucking comment on the posts.
Yeah.
Barely anyone would like it. No one would engage with any of the polls we did. It was like pulling teeth to get people to like tell you what they thought, right?
Yeah.
But then this other account, couple hundred followers, we like would give away like tickets within like hours. We would get like multiple votes on like polls and like tons of people commenting and sharing the stuff that
Yeah.
we would post. And so it's interesting. I feel like in a way, it's kind of, I don't know, you probably could tell me better than um just off of like what you've seen, but in a sense, is someone who is releasing constantly on SoundCloud or releasing constantly on Spotify, would they be the one that's potentially getting more feedback, therefore becoming better? I guess it just depends on.
Yeah. Um, it really does depend. Because it all has to do with like algorithms, and I think
Yeah.
algorithms have completely destroyed art.
Yeah.
And just like how we interact, like take art or music out of the equation, just algorithms in general have completely destroyed like how we perceive like everything. um and how like we initially like act and create, it just be like a cute photo of me at the mall, you know what I mean? Or like this next level project that I like poured all of my being into.
Yeah.
If it doesn't match the algorithm, then it doesn't matter. And
Right.
the thing about being consistently dropping on like SoundCloud or Spotify or like whatever is that if you drop, it's like the consistency chart, sorry, which I kind of hate because it's like it all has to do with algorithms, and it's like if you're going to be consistent, like you're slowly will get more, like you have a higher chance of hitting the algorithm if you drop once a week or once a month versus once every 9 months.
Yep.
Because
I've definitely seen that. And I
yeah.
think too, it's like, it's hard because it's like for every like creator, I feel like in the back, I mean, I can't speak for everyone, right? But I feel like a good amount of people in the back of their head, there's still that little party that just wants to wake up in the morning and be like, well, shit, I'm viral. Like,
Yeah.
because you hear those stories and they're passed around so like prevalent, like there's so the stories are so prevalent that you're like, oh, like it makes it feel more accessible than it really is when the reality is that it's a lot of hard work. So
Yeah. And like I've gone viral on like on TikTok and Twitter. Not for my music, just for like
stupid shit.
stupid things. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like my TikTok, this was like I'd say 2019. So for the music industry was like forcing everyone to go on TikTok and like be like my music,
Yeah.
listen.
Yeah.
And I got like I think like 18,000 followers off of one video. And I'll send the video over so because it's kind of funny. But
Okay.
I like couldn't maintain it.
There you go. Yeah, it's
And
fleeting. That's interesting.
yeah, and it's like you kind of got to like prepare yourself to like create whatever it is you're creating, whether it be comedy, art, music, just philosophical think pieces on your Instagram stories, like whatever it is, like you got to kind of prepare yourself to be consistent and like be ready, because it's like you wake up and you have 5,000 new followers, 5 million new followers, like we're gonna be like waiting, like how you maintain it.
Yep.
And
It's a lot of pressure.
yeah, it is. And I kind of hate that it has to be thought that way, where it's just kind of like, why can't I just do? But
Yeah. No,
consumerism.
that is very that is a way that I have not thought about it before, because it's true. You know, you see it every day, like on your own, like personal social media. It's like
Yeah.
people unfollow for whatever reason. People will like not like your post for whatever reason, right? So
Yeah.
it's just that, but on a larger scale.
Yeah.
So
And
the up is up and the down is down, right?
yeah, yeah. And everything's like everyone hates gimmicks. But then you go viral and it's like, oh, well, check out my music. And they're like, oh, fuck this guy. Like, it's
Exactly.
like you can't win. Like you make gimmick content and people will hate you because you're a gimmick, or you genuinely like go viral for something that means something. And then it's like, oh, well, they're just here in it to get our attention. It's like, this is a gig now. It's like, all right.
You're like, so what if I want your attention? God damn
Yeah.
it, listen to the song.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, North, for coming on. I appreciate it. You've
Thanks
got
for letting me rant.
new music coming on. No, it's good. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of
Yeah.
your night. All right.
Thank you. You
Bye-bye.
too.
Bye.
Bye.